I got the NFL Combine Day 2 risers. Sit back, relax, smash that like button, and let's get to it, baby. What's going on, everybody out there? Welcome to the show. We got the NFL Combine Day 2 risers. Sound the alarm because some players out there definitely drove their draft stock up. That's right, they're going to be trending upwards. We had some players that ran really fast on Day 2. I guess the question is, who do the 49ers seem to have their eyes set on? Now, you remember, it was the defense. This was the cornerbacks, the defensive backs, also the tight ends did run and test as well. The 49ers have mentioned that they're looking to go more with speed. So I'm curious to see if the 49ers got a couple of these guys out there. Now, they did meet with several of these players, and so I'm interested to get to it. But let's just go ahead and get into who rose. Make sure you smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and click on that subscribe button, man. Do the daggone thing. And if you want to support the channel, you can become a member of the Breezie Bunch crew. Welcome, everybody. Let's get this show rocking. All right, here we go. Day 2 risers. It is there in the books, and we're talking 4-8 official speed cornerback Maxwell Hairston, Kentucky. Yeah, I want to make sure I say that nice and slow so that I pronounce everything right. Maxwell Hairston out of Kentucky. I know a lot of people feel like, is he a good DB? Yeah, he can run fast. Look, are you paying attention to the wide receivers that are coming into the league as of now? I guarantee you when the wide receivers run, you're going to get some burners. And we're not talking, just Xavier Worthy from last year, who still holds the 40-time record. No, watch. There's another Texas kid named Isaiah Bond that's going to run. There's a kid out of Oregon named Tez. I can't remember his last name, but that kid is going to run. So I guarantee you there's going to be some speed. But you're going to need to be able to match the speed from time to time. Now, I like everything about this kid. Just looking him up real quick on my chart, which I will be sharing with everybody if you pay for the $1 subscription or more on the Patreon. So I have my NFL Combine chart with all the updates, all their testing grades, and all that good stuff. So you can check that out very shortly. I'll make sure I put that up there for you guys. And all you got to do is share your email once you pay the $1. All right. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right, man. So looking at Maxwell Hairston, I'm like, yo, man, this kid is he first of all, he graded a 6.29. All right. He's 5'11". He's the prototypical height and weight and size that the 49ers, 183. This is what they like their cornerbacks to be. I just, do I want to go 6'2", 6'1", 6'2", 6'3"? Yes, I do. It's not what the 49ers want, though. I feel like he fits the mold of what the 49ers like at cornerback position. Now, we have a new cornerbacks coach and Ray Brown, so maybe that changes up. But the one thing I know about Maxwell Hairston, he has speed. Now, this is his production last season at Kentucky at 15 solo tackles, 4 assisted tackles, a tackle for a loss, a sack. So that means he blitzed around the line of scrimmage. The speed should be there. You can blitz with him, especially if he's going to play nickel right away. Can you imagine this kid at 5'11" playing nickelback for the San Francisco 49ers? And now you have speed with all 3 of your cornerbacks out there. I'm already thinking. Has an interception, 4 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles in 2024 at Kentucky. Look, I feel like, give me speed. I'm all about speed. I'm all about being able to match. You're going to watch a lot of these different, watch a lot of 11 personnel with 3 wide receiver sets out there where you're going to have your nickelback package out there. And the Niners, yes, I love Deommodore Lenoir. He can stay on the outside. They're paying him to be outside. But you can get Maxwell Hairston, put him on the inside, and be the speed guy, especially at 5'11". I think that would be a nice little fit. Now, let's just look at how fast he really did run, and we'll get to the RAS score real quickly, but let's just look at this next gen's chart. He clocked in at 24.25 miles per hour is where he hit his top speed. Look at that. Look at the max acceleration, 6.22 yards. That was his max acceleration. This kid can move, especially on a straight line. Now, how does he play out there? Look, tape says he can play. So if the tape says he can play, I think he's gonna be good. Will he fit the 49ers? I'm telling you where exactly where you can put him. Now, this is how we tested as far as his RAS score, his relative athletic score. This is how we tested. He got a 9.68. These are unofficial. I'm sure they'll become official a little bit later once the combine is over. Shout out to Kent Lee out there who puts these out and gets these out. But just look, all right, height, all right, it's okay, all right. Weight, a little light, okay. You want him to be maybe, I would say 190. If you get him to 190, that'd be a good weight for him. But you don't want him to lose too much of his speed, all right, out there. You don't want him to lose too much of his speed. Now, let's look at how he tested. He tested elite as far as being explosive with the vertical and the broad jump. This is where you get the explosion, right? Can he jump? Yeah, he can jump. 39.5-inch vertical. How far can he jump? Oh, yeah, like 10 feet 9 inches. That's how far he can jump. He can jump high. He can jump far. For a 5'11" kid, give it to me, baby. All right. Now you can see his arm length is there at 31 inches. Hand size 8 and 3/4 inches. But this is where I zone in on when it comes to the 40-yard dash. He ran fast. The 20-yard splits 2.53. His 10-yard splits 1.49. Now I would like to see him test the agility testing, right? The 3-cone, the 20-yard shuttle, like those things. I would like to see those testing results. But I'm sure he'll run the 3-cone relatively fast. I mean, he can cut. Maxwell Harrison's definitely a guy that I feel like is going to be earning himself some money on draft day. Will it be with the 49ers? Well, that's to be continued. All right, next, this kid. Now, he's in my top 5 DBs for the 49ers, top 5 cornerbacks. Darian Porter out of Iowa State. Been talking about him for the longest. And, looking up Darian Porter, 6'3", off the top. So he's a big guy. Doesn't really fit the mold of the 49ers at 6'3" because that's big, but the Niners can change up what they're looking to do, especially in that press man. So you mean to tell me he's already fast, all right? He's fast. And when I say fast, he ran an official 4.3. So a little bit slower than Maxwell Harrison, but he gives you size, right? So he's super athletic. He might be just one of the most athletic corners or players that have been at the combine. So at 6'3", he gives you the height advantage with the speed. So you don't have to worry about him getting beat speed-wise, and he has the reach to get you PBUs, right? So even if you did beat him, this kid can he has the length, the arm length, the height, and stuff like that to get you to PBUs. Now, what do I like about him? I mean, I know his production is relatively low. Didn't have any interceptions, 12 solo tackles, 6 assisted tackles. That's like 18 combined, 2 tackles for a loss. Doesn't really blitz around the line of scrimmage. He's more of an outside guy. You're not going to have him playing nickel at 6'3". He's going to be an outside guy. 2 pass deflections to force fumble. I understand that the statistics don't really stand out. He's kind of like that freak athlete with speed that has lower statistics. He kind of reminds me of like Shamar Stewart at Texas A&M, who just tested through the roof. I think he finished with a 10 RAS score, but the numbers don't add up. So what you're going to get is a player, given the opportunity. Lockdown man corner, in my opinion, for Darian Porter. Watching him on film, you're not beating him. And that's good. Now, if you beat him on the underneath routes, can he make the tackles? That's something to be determined. But athletic-wise, he's going to be making him some money just from everything that he's done at the combine. And I have all of his official stuff, so I can tell you what he led in, at the combine. All right. So just looking at Darian Porter had the fastest 10-yard split at 1.49 for the position, right? For the cornerback's position. He had the second, I would say I think he had the second fastest 40 as well. So the second fastest 40. So just leading, he had the fastest 10-yard split at 1.49. He had the fastest 3-cone at 6.71. That is an amazing number. And then he had the fastest 20-yard shuttle as well. All right. He should probably end up being a 10, 9-inch hands, 33 Uh, and 125 inches of the arm length. You can see he's 6'3". They got him listed here. They probably just bumped it up, right? 195. That's kind of where I want these corners to kind of weigh 190 to 200. I think that's a good weight. The vertical didn't jump as high, 36.5 inches, but look at that broad jump, man. That broad jump is 10 feet 11 inches. This kid can jump. Kid can jump. This kid can jump. All right, kid can jump. Now, for those that are gonna question, well, statistically, why didn't he perform better? Probably because they just didn't throw to him. It's Deion Sanders-esque out there. You know, you get the speed, you get the 4.3 speed, and you get the size, you got the build. And size matters. It really does, you know? Size definitely matters, you know? So, Darian Porter, man, one of my faves. Let's get to the safeties, man, as we switch. You know, these are the players that I feel like their draft stocks are going to rise. Now, on my big board, you know, it's unfortunate that I had Nick Emmanwori as my number 3 safety. I have him as my number 3 safety, and you know I really felt like I should have him higher. But this is what this exercise is all about, you know. So out of my top 100, where do I have him listed? Emmanwori, number 34. So he's in my top 50, but he slightly falls out of the first round because I have a first round grade on Xavier Watts. And then I had a first round grade on, let's see, I think Malachi Starks. Now, I can see Xavier Watts, he didn't test at the combine, so he played a long season, almost got to the BCS championship game. They fell short of that. So he's recovering, whatever. I get it. He'll test at his pro day. He did lead the college football in interceptions, though. So like the fact that he has the most interceptions kind of pushes him up because that product made me that product of what he did out there, the production, makes him my number 1, right? Because I know he can play a ball hawk, and it's funny because he's not even built like a typical ball hawk. He's just an overall good safety. Like he can play deep, he can play in a box. So that's Xavier Watts. So that's why I have him number 1. But my number 2 is Emmanwori because and he might be switching to my number 1 after this combine workout that I saw. Like I already saw it on film. I mean, he's the perfect size that you want. You know what I mean? Perfect size that you want for a safety out there. Perfect size. You could play big nickel with him. He's 6'3". Give me these bigger guys, right? 6'3", 220, and he can fly, right? He can fly. He can fly. He had the fastest 10-yard split. He had the fastest vertical. He had the highest vertical, the longest broad jump. Like he tested well in so many areas. He had the second fastest, I believe, 40-yard dash time at a 4.38. So he clocked in at a 4.38. But let's look what he did in college, man. Or let's get to his top speed. Top speed 23. Wow. Top speed, max acceleration at 5.95 yards per second. Like that is flying out there at 220 pounds at 6'3". That's flying. So production is there. So I don't have to worry about him. Film states he's the guy. He can play a big nickel. If you go out there, 3 extra safeties, you want to do that, he could do that. It could be the nickel linebacker or whatever you want to call it. He can be that big guy, the big safety. He gives me like Derwin James vibes, right? Like that's kind of like what he gives me. He has the speed, he has the production, he has the skill set, he has the mind. You can find him up on my top 5 safeties, draft day targets for the 49ers. He's definitely up there. 31 assisted tackles, 3 for a loss, 4 interceptions. He returned 2 of those interceptions, y'all, for touchdowns at South Carolina. Yes, he did. 2 pass deflections as well. Really loved this kid. And I fell in love. So I always loved him, but I feel like I fell in love with him after his testing at the combine. Let's look at his RAS score, and it's a perfect 10, right? It's a perfect 10, even without the agility testing on here. Like, it's a perfect 10, all right? Look at where he's rated. Like, as far as his composite, his build, height, his weight, it's like damn near 10s, right? He's the perfect size you want. You know, when I think of big nickels, like, I feel like one of the biggest, this is that's the role that Derwin James was able to play in Los Angeles this past season. He was able to play more of the big nickel role. But I always go back to the Cam Chancellor from the Seattle Seahawks, the Legion of Boom. Like, you got a big safety, big ass safety that can cover, tight ends, running backs. They can, and they're there to like disrupt the passing game. Period. And they're a force in the run game, and that's what you get from him. Like he's a force in the run. Look at his composite explosion grade. It's elite. Everything on him is elite, right? And this is why I can see him rising on up to probably being the number one safety, even over Malachi Starks. I didn't think Malachi Starks looked good. He looked smooth out there, but I didn't think, and his production is great in college as well. But he didn't really like. He's boring. This kid wows me. Like, you know what I mean? He wows me. 43-inch vertical, 11 feet, 6-inch broad jump. What do you want? Like, he didn't do the 3-cone. He didn't do the 20-yard shuttle. So, like, what do you want? And he's already going to be that 10. You want to talk about a guy moving up on the draft stocks. You're talking about a guy moving possibly into the first round to a team that may want to go with this particular type of defense. Like, and it's funny. I'm thinking like, who used to run the big nickel? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who we talked about the Seattle Seahawks. Who was the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks? Now, I don't know if the Raiders are willing to draft a safety at, pick number 6, but for the 49ers, he's probably going to be there at 11. Now, I'm not saying that's the position that we need as a safety. We have guys, but we are probably not going to bring back Talanoa Hufanga. I don't feel like Jair Brown or Malik is Mustafa. I feel like they're not the deep. This is a guy you could just leave out there back deep and has the speed and range to cover sideline to sideline, like the whole field. They don't have that speed. They don't have that speed. They have good downhill speed, but they don't have good lateral speed. So it's a big difference between lateral speed and just running downhill and laying the boom. And you could see that, even Jair Brown struggles even running downhill, like putting his head down, missing the tackles. You don't have to worry about missed tackles with Amir Worry. So, I'm hoping the Raiders don't trade back, get more picks, and then snatch him up, and then he becomes the staple of that Pete Carroll's defense over there. That's my worry. All right, he's been a draft crush for me. Billy Bowman. I'm not sure if he goes by Billy Bowman Jr. or Billy Bowman, but whatever it is he goes by, I fell in love with him at the Senior Bowl. He stood out to me at the Senior Bowl. All right, and I fell in love with him. He's 5'10". He's kind of like the fit the build, for DBs for the 49ers in that area. He's 5'10", 192, but he had probably one of the most impressive combines that I've seen. I mean, if you watched him run the gauntlet, if you watched him run lateral play, like the lateral drill, like it was straight line, gauntlet, didn't drop a pass, ran on a straight line, caught them all on a straight line. It's all about he has the athleticism. I feel like he's very athletic, and it just seems like he just understands how to play, like his position. Like he understands what to do, where to be, how to line up, how to run. Like he just understands all that, and I like him. I feel like his draft stock has risen after the Senior Bowl, and now he did the combine where he tested pretty daggone well. He ran a 4.42. That's good speed for safety. And remember that safety benchmark that they said. Daniel Jeremiah had a safety benchmark. I feel like the number was like 4.5. So if you ran anything under a 4.5, you're pretty much golden, right? Because safeties don't really run that fast. They're usually 4.6, 4.7, 4.8. That was at least for the 49ers, right? They're up there. And so a lot of these safeties ran under 4.5. 4.5. He had a 1.52 10-yard split, 35 and a half inch vert, and 10 feet 3-inch broad jump. Now he also did not do the agility testing as well, but this is what his production was like in Oklahoma: 34 solo tackles, 20 assisted, 3 tackles for a loss. He didn't have any sacks, but he did get 2 interceptions, 3 pass deflections, and a fumble return for a touchdown. I really love this kid, Billy Bowman. Or Billy Bowman Jr. I really do. I really think he'll be a good fit with the 49ers as well. And The Niners don't, just saying. Check out my draft day targets. He's on there. I just feel like there's going to be an option for the Niners to draft a safety round 3, round 4, maybe even round 5. I'm not saying he falls to round 5. He's going day 2 for sure. So round 2 or 3, Billy Bowman will be off the board. So congratulations to Billy Bowman. I think he's definitely rising. He's going to be earning him some money. And here's his 7.53 RAS score. I know it's just kind of low. We're looking at it being low, but his height and size kind of hurt him a little bit, But this is where I go and watch the tape, and I'd be like, well, size doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, and I know that sounds crazy, but at this position and the way he plays the game, size won't matter. He plays the game very well. He's very instinctful, very smart out there on the football field, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and so size doesn't matter. But I thought he ran well, and that's good for him. That'll help him with the stock. Now, as far as the DBs, before we move on to tight ends, I just wanted to go to Next Gen Stats and just talk about the top athletic scores. All right, so the players with the top athleticism, all right? And so the 49ers did meet with Darian Porter. I know they did not meet with Darian Porter, but I felt like they were interested in Darian Porter prior. Caleb Ransall is creeping up my board, okay? He's definitely creeping up my board. Didn't have him on my list, the kid out of Tulane, but I'm definitely going to be looking now. Nick Emmanwori, obviously, one of my top 5 safeties that I feel like will fit best for the 49ers. Jacob Parrish, one of my top 5 corners, man. Oh, man, love the kid. Thought he ran very well. He's super athletic. Tested through the freaking roof. Just looking at Jacob Parrish testing numbers really quickly. Parrish stands at 6'2". I like that height. He's the best tackling DB here. I saw that up close and personal at the Senior Bowl. Like, I'm like, yes. Yeah, and the 49ers did meet with him formally, as well as Quincy Riley, so that's pretty cool. But I'm not 6'2". He's 5'10". My apologies. His grade is a 6'2", but he's 191 pounds. He ran a 4.35 official, 151 split. All right, 151 split. Tested through the roof, ran through the roof. But I think he plays really good coverage when it comes to cornerback. And then Keaton Crawford, also one of the top 5 defensive backs athletic scores. Now listen, hit that like button. All right, man, take a quick pause, smash on that like button. If you didn't do so already, you might be just tuning in, you know what I'm saying, and just been watching from the jump. Also, feel free, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. All right, click on subscribe. Make sure your alerts are set to on and all so you don't miss any of the episodes. It's going to be a lot of recorded shows right here for you guys. All right, so make sure you guys do that as well. And certainly, last but not least, support the channel. Become a member of the Breezy Bunch crew. Let's get to these tight ends. You guys, I've been talking about Terrence Ferguson since the Senior Bowl. Met with him. I feel bad because I feel bad like I interviewed him and I felt like I cut him off by mistake and I didn't mean to. I'm going to post it so you guys can check it out. But I felt bad about it. And I want to apologize to him, but he met with the 49ers at the Senior Bowl as well as having a formal meeting here at the Combine as well. Now, what I like about him, is his athleticism. So I think that the Niners need a tight end that is slightly opposite from George Kittle. See, George Kittle is a hybrid. He's one of a kind. He can block, he can run routes, he can catch, he's fast, right? I like the Jordan Reed type of tight ends. That's what Terrence, anybody, like he would fall under the kind of like that Travis Kelce tree, the route running guy, great hands, can get open, short yardage, down the field. That's kind of what Terrence Ferguson does, right? To me, that's what I see when I watched the film. Now, how did he test? I thought he was the best testing tight end out there on the freaking football field. Hands down, wasn't even close. Thought he was the best tight end out there on the football field. I thought he had a great Senior Bowl week. Wasn't the featured guy. It was more about Elijah Aurora at that. But for Terrence Ferguson, I think his draft stock is going up. because of some of these guys that didn't play, and I felt like he tested better than some of the top guys out there, like a Harold Fannin Jr., who just didn't seem to be as athletic, didn't run as well. So Terrence Ferguson stands at 6'5", 247. You know what I'm saying? And he led in two categories: the 40-yard dash, 10-yard split. Those are the two categories that he led. So he's the fastest tight end out there on the football field, and he had the fastest 10-yard split. Now, his production for his college, 43 receptions, 591 yards. He did average 13.7 yards per reception, and he was able to get you 3 touchdowns. So he had some slight performance, but they had tons of weapons over. Why can't I think of the wide receiver from Oregon, Tez Johnson? Why did I draw a blank with that? He was one of my favorite receivers to watch at the Senior Bowl, and then they just stopped throwing to him because he kept getting open, and I guess they started complaining, so he stopped getting the rock. But anyway, back to Terrence Ferguson. Definitely like what I see on football film, watching him, and again, he seems to catch everything. It's like, this is the tough guy, can run over the middle, take a shot, has good hands, doesn't let the ball go. And he blocks. He's a willing blocker. I'm not going to sit there and say he's the best blocking tight end in this draft. Actually, the best blocking tight end coming out of the draft is Harold Fannin Jr. He has the highest blocking grade. But the guy that does it the best, right, he might have the highest grade, is Spencer Halls out of Georgia Tech. Jackson Halls out of Georgia Tech. My bad. I don't know why I keep calling him Spencer. It's Jackson Halls. It's always been Jackson Halls. For some reason, he just looks like a Spencer to me. Anyway, Terrence Ferguson, I just think is going to be a dynamic player depending on where he goes. And if the 49ers are looking to get a tight end, this has got to be this should be one of the options. He did have a formal meeting with the 49ers. 9.57 RAS score. You can see his height is there. Weight is a little bit low. They want him to be a little bit bigger. But he's more of that receiving tight end. He didn't run the broad jump. He didn't jump the vertical, but he did do the broad jump, which was at 9.12. All right, and you can see his 40-yard dash. These are unofficial, so I got the official 40-yard dashes. So let me make sure I got my notes right, because this number that I have is pretty damn fast. So let me just double check the 40-yard dash time and make sure I got the right one before I tell you what it is. All right, here we go. Let's see, 40-yard dash time for Terrence Ferguson. Can't make this up. All right. Terrence Ferguson's 40-yard dash was... Oh, I was right. I thought... Listen, I do stuff late, super late at night, and my notes are right. He ran a 4.63? What? Ain't no way.
Shit.
Hey, let me just, I gotta look this up. I gotta look this up. I gotta look it up. You guys gotta bear with me. All right, out there, hit that like button, man. Just do that. What was George Kittle's 40-yard dash time? 4.52. Damn, Kittle was fat. Kittle was moving. He ran for 4.63. I'll take it. 4.63. I like that. That's a good speed. Fastest tight end out there. 4.63. I'll take it. Fastest 10-yard split. Fastest 40-yard time. I'll take it. His 10-yard split was a 1.55. All right, 1.55. So that means I feel like his RAS score will be even higher once you put the official times up there. That's why these are unofficial. You see the little U there? Unofficial. My second tight end, though, Jalen Conyers from Texas Tech. All right, another fast guy out there. Ran a 4.7, I believe, 4.74. All right. I like what I saw from him in the testing parts of the drill. He ran fast, had a good fast run, in my opinion. But I definitely like what I saw in the testing part. His 3-cone is a 6.94. That means this kid can move. He's agile. He can bend. He can do these things that we need him to do to be more of a weapon out there, right? 4.27 shuttle. Jalen Conyers, to me, definitely is going to be rising. And this is what he did at Texas Tech. 30 receptions, 320 yards, 10.7 yards per reception, 5 TDs, 8 rushing attempts. So he was able to run out of the backfield. That's a plus, right? You're looking for a guy that could kind of be like an H-back at times. Can you put your tight end in the backfield? 8 attempts, 31 yards, 3.9 per average with 2 rushing touchdowns. All right, so that's super important because the Niners look to get guys like that. If they're going to be moving on from a guy like Juice, they're going to need a tight end that can produce out of the backfield, line up in the backfield, line up out wide, line up on in line, line up out. They need that versatile type of tight end. I like Jalen Kynes. We're going to watch more tape on him, but I like the way he works out. I think he would be a good fit for the 49ers as well. I didn't have him in my top 5 tight ends. I'm not going to lie. But this might be somebody to not sleep on, right? He might be my sleeper tight end that's going to start creeping up. I think he's going to creep up in the draft stock, especially after the combine, because I thought he tested very, very well. Very, very well. You can see his RAS score, unofficial 924. All right. And again, he did the 3-cone. He did the shuttle, man. Give it to me, baby. Like when these tight ends need to do these drills. Like these are important. We want the linemen to do the drills. And that a tight end is essentially an extension to the offensive line. That number is under 7. Anything under 7 for me is golden, baby. Drop a bomb on him. One time, baby. Love what I saw. Love what I saw. So those are my day 2 risers from the NFL Combine. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know if you agree, if you disagree. Feel free to put in who you liked. I'll definitely chime in on that with you guys. And I appreciate you for taking time out of your day to watch this. Thank you so much for watching. Also, take a listen to this, and we're going to be up out of here. Day 3 on the way, baby. Thank you all for your support here on the WayneBreezie channel. If you're new, make sure you click on that subscribe button. Don't forget to smash the like button and check out the other videos. Thanks for watching.